Thus, we have some breaking updates that are coming in now. New visuals of President Maduro with wife Cilia Flores are coming in at this point in time. We can show you that on your screens as well. A US journalist says that Maduro here might have injured his leg, which he was complaining about. They are in New York City following a large-scale US operation in Venezuela, of course, and he is being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, set to face drugs and weapons charges in the Manhattan Federal Court. So those fresh visuals coming in of Maduro and his wife. Ambassador Yogesh Gupta, former diplomat, also joins us on the broadcast. Sir, of course, we've seen in much detail this operation that has been carried out by the United States of America. But what is even more interesting is all of the statements that have come out by the US president after that. He has come out in the open and he's spoken about Venezuelan oil. He's spoken about US companies moving in to take charge of Venezuelan oil tankers. He has spoken about the United States taking charge in Venezuela until a proper change of power can be seen, which he has not said what that entails, of course, as well. What sort of an implication do you see this having? Because of course the United States is not being shy about what it's doing at all. But if we look at the geopolitical implications of this and what it means not just regionally but globally, what do you think this US action in Venezuela and the capture of Maduro implies for the world?
Well, the kind of arguments that the US has used to intervene militarily in Venezuela, those kind of arguments can be used against many other countries. It can as well say that, look, China was developed with the help of the US investments and US technology, and therefore we have a right on China's resources. It can extend the same arguments to much of Europe, It can extend the same arguments to other countries, Canada and so on. It's a very dangerous way of looking at things, and it defies the international law. It defies the domestic laws in the US. Trump has not taken the approval of the US Congress. So this is an action which is totally kind of decided and implemented by President Trump, and this will have very unfortunate implications, because it really means that the powerful can just do whatever they want using the power at their disposal. It doesn't stop other countries from doing whatever they wish to do in their own backyard. And given that Trump has said that US will be more busy in the Western Hemisphere, so that again leaves the site of worry for others. There are 2-3 other points which I like to make, which is that Venezuela was equipped with so much of the Chinese and I believe Russian equipment, and this Chinese equipment, all the radar systems and so on, these could not help Venezuela at all. And this is the second time after Pakistan that we have seen failure of the Chinese equipment. So the Chinese military, which is already plagued with corruption, huge corruption charges, should now really ponder as to where they are versus the Western equipment or the Western military leaders. And it really should make everyone ponder whether they should really go to China to seek defense equipment for security, because it did not help Venezuela, it did not help Pakistan and others. The third point I would like to make is that for countries like India, I think we have to be very mindful of the balance of power. It is all right to say it's a multipolar world, but the balance of power lies with the United States. So we have to be very careful about our public stance, our diplomatic positions, and we should not do anything like Venezuela to defy the US in such a blatant manner as Venezuela did, that is pricing the Venezuelan oil in yuan and so on, defying the US dollar and so on, defying completely the United States. in the terminal stage, it was willing to talk, but then I think by then it was too late. So we have to be mindful of the balance of power, in our diplomatic conversations, in our diplomatic positions, and we should take the lesson from this crisis that it's a different world altogether. The new currency of international law is power, economic power, military power, and the ability to use that power. China has a lot of power, but China doesn't have the will to use that power. So the will to use that power is equally important. So these are the lessons that we must derive from this crisis, and we must pay our full attention to strengthening India, to developing India militarily, economically, to acquire more aircraft carriers, long-range bombers, long-range missiles, quieter sub and nuclear subs, and so on. Because these are things which you will need to in a major conflict with bigger countries. Thank you.